Afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the introduction, our dear MC. Thank you for introducing. Hi, everyone. My name is Gwen, and I lead business development in Asia Pacific at Horizen Labs. Horizen Labs is a Web3 infrastructure company. We have built a few products and done work with other ecosystems like ApeCoin and ApeChain. Products-wise, we are building ZK Verify, which is a ZK proof verification layer, and Horizen, which is going to be an L3 in the base ecosystem. Today, really excited to be hosting the ZK prediction market. I like prediction markets, and hopefully these investors will give us some high-level thoughts on high-level and detailed thoughts about what's happening in this space. But let's do a short round of introductions. Momir, please.
Thanks. Yeah, Momir here. I'm from IOSG Ventures. I've been with IOSG since early 2020. Started as an associate and now serving as managing partner. And IOSG is a crypto-only investment firm operating since 2017. Thanks to ReZero for organizing, and thanks for having us today.
Thank you. Bruce?
Yeah, I'm Bruce. I'm the investment principal in the Summer Ventures. We are Hong Kong-based, Web3 focused VC fund, and also the past investment are including the Animoca brands, Hashkey Exchange, also the Belatrade, Eclipse as well. So I joined crypto in 2019, so I was on the investment sectors for quite a long time. So I'm very interested in the DeFi infrastructure.
And ZK?
And ZK as well, yes.
Thank you, Bruce.
Hi guys, Ether here. I'm the head of investment at BingNext Labs. Instead of BingNext, we are leading exchange, centralized exchange. We are focused on different regions, especially in APAC and CIS. Instead of labs, we do both strategic investment and incubation. And currently, for I think the current market trends, we focus more on RWA, AI, and also ZK, and that's why we just have a chat here.
Okay, and Ether, your name. Do you name yourself after,
No, but yes, after I named myself Ether with this English one, I actually hold a lot of Ethereum.
Okay, that's good. You're showing your bags right now, but hey, now I need to hear about your ZK bags, okay? Right. So thanks, guys. And so here we have an investment panel. You can see everyone here has done Web3 investments for quite a while, myself included, actually. I've been in Web2 and Web3. But today I'm wearing my ZK hat, my ZK product hat. So let's kind of kick off, right? From the ZK space, like where are you today? I know IOSG Ventures, you've done a bunch of ZK infrastructure. I would love for you to kind of share a little bit more about your ZK expertise. Prove your chops, Momir.
I guess, so why ZK, right? Why is anybody in crypto talking about
I guess, yeah, sure, let's start
ZK?
there.
Firstly, the idea came as a way of scaling blockchains in a way that is modular and trustless. And basically, there has been this blockchain trilemma of how to achieve both scalability, decentralization, while remaining secure, right? So this has been bothering crypto researchers for a long time, and then ZK showed up as some sort of holy grail that people felt like it's the ideal technology to resolve this problem, because in theory you can have all three. But what ZK or validity proves in this context, what they actually kind of sacrificed and what trade-off they introduced is this trade-off of liquidity fragmentation. So they introduced the fourth dimension, although like they resolved the first three. But this, I guess, is not the main topic of the panel. But our kind of introduction to the ZK space was also through the lenses of how to scale blockchains while not going against some of these fundamental principles of blockchains, being decentralized, being secure, and then on top of that, being scalable enough, having cheap transaction costs so that actually retail can enjoy it and do like everyday transactions on top of crypto without having to feel the burden of crypto technology. So that was what led us to kind of first explore ZK investment.
When, roughly?
over the last 4 years, we've been investing in the ZK space. We also invest in RISC-0. We invested in Starknet, ZK Sync, on the
Aztec as well, no? Aztec as well, I think.
Aztec on the privacy side of things, yeah, but on the scalability side of things, I think Starknet and ZK Sync fit into this vision. And then RISC-0 fits to some extent into this vision, but they also, I see them more as a coprocessor. And then like the thesis for coprocessor is a little bit different, but maybe we can touch on that in some of the next questions, not to take too much time in the first answer immediately.
That's great. But, okay, wait. So all these projects that you've invested in, so you're talking about what, 5 ZK-related projects at this point?
We invested also in Brevis. Dongmo, he was
Yep.
here earlier today. They are also in the coprocessor space. There might be some others that are adjacent to ZK technology or use it in some way, but let's say those that have core focus ZK technology, I think roughly correct.
Okay, great. And Bruce, for Summer Ventures, where's your ZK portfolio at?
We invest into Rumors, is ZK Aurora as a service provider, also so it can provide the users and people to build ZK-based blockchain easily. Also, I think it can utilize the distribute nodes or the like a computer worldwide to generate the proofs. So which can offer some kind of for the tasks like the AI model training and on certain private data. So I think they're doing quite well, and we are very bullish on that because it shows that Rumors shows that ZK can scale the blockchain and also to secure the AI work, which is actually the people's needs right now.
AI and ZK is one of the, kind of ZK ML, right? It's like an interesting space. I would love to kind of talk through some of these kind of use cases as well. And you were saying, so this project is a roll-up as a service?
Yeah, ZK Rollup as a service.
Okay, got it. And Ether?
Well, to be honest, as for BigNext Labs, we not yet start our first portfolio for ZK, but I myself, used to participate in some, and we are just chatting with some. For the early stage, like ZK Sync itself, of course, or a bit earlier, like ZK Swap, but and also a Leo, something like that. But kind of failure investment as of myself and.
Oh, I love that you're saying that because people always talk about successful, but the failure ones are interesting. So when you say that, give us a bit more context or fun, juicy notes.
Yeah, just I'm not talking about ZK Sync. It's a good project and a Chen also. But for Elio, approximately I think 50, 60 millions of fundraising, and actually it was just a token. Yeah, we do not see a lot of developers moved on. We do not see different kind of applications can utilize by their DKP techniques. So it doesn't help the app to get massive adoption, either approaching like a different kind of new experience to user. That's a little bit what I call it a failure. But let us jump to the current time. What I am accessing few projects like Aurora and maybe Reso. They are all startups. There's no name in the market, but they are doing something fun. Is using ZK and other proven the tags, but bonding with AI. They do the execution layer, or sometimes they just do they will just execute different kind of provens, being a middle layer, but not a chain. So I think that makes more sense to me instead of they just publish a chain themselves.
So they're kind of middleware infrastructure?
Yeah, but actually, some of them, they publish a chain. They may use the Cosmos SDK or other, SDK. They are chain, but it's just served for their feature to serve for different chains.
Okay. But it's great. I mean, the fact that you haven't started in ZK portfolio, that's fine because ZK is also kind of really just growing right now. And here, I think we all want to grow the pie, right? And we'd love for you to speak from your personal experience, but also use cases, right? So kind of let's talk more about the ZK value chain and ecosystem. Momir, you mentioned a few things like ZK coprocessor and stuff like that. Like for you right now in the ZK value chain, which to you is the most interesting or crucial part of getting ZK adopted?
I think, like, just to follow up on Iter's comments, I think it's accurate. Like, especially in this cycle, users don't care too much about decentralization at all, right? Like, if you look into the most successful products of this cycle, Etina, Hyperliquid, Usual got a lot of attention and growth at one point. These are all like projects that are more like CDFI and not have a lot of authorizations for the team where they can make a lot of changes. You have a lot of trust assumptions in between. So this is like the sort of short-term reality, like whether users care too much about like things being extremely and fully decentralized. Even like on the rollup side of things, like we have optimistic rollups that are kind of working on the same direction as ZK rollups, but with a little bit less sexy technology and less ideal technology, but the technology that is more ready for today and able to offer cheaper cost at this point of time and better user experience at this point of time. And then we can see that these rollups are starting to generate some network effects that later on it would be very hard for these ZK rollups that started joined the race in go-to-market strategies and so on slightly later, and then they are now like struggling to close the gap. At the same time, we have like everybody kind of admitting that this is the technology of the future, but everybody is also waiting for somebody to do the hard work and then like to kind of hopefully adopt the technology once this would lead to cheaper costs and like not sacrifice anything on the user experience side of things. And there is a lot of interest even from optimistic rollups to actually switch to validity proofs eventually, but so far they just don't see the pressure from the demand side, like from their ecosystem, from the customers. They don't see like this is sort of something that they have to work aggressively on, right?
But so you're saying that people are okay with like the 7-day finality? That's
so
one
far,
part of it?
So far they have been. I think like everybody that is working with 7-day finality type of approach at the moment, long term have the goal to move towards ZK solution because in theory this is a more ideal solution and this is indeed the holy grail for this type of approach. But at this point of time, like the ones that started with optimistic approach have advantage, and eventually, they even want to utilize the work done by others because a lot of this work is open source, so they can try to switch whenever the work is excellent and whenever it would make a kind of difference for the user.
So your point in saying all that is that in this space right now, it's like you said, right? A lot of people are doing CDFI, right? That's something where it's fortunately or unfortunately gotten a lot of user adoption, and so you are thinking that everyone is going towards the ZK stack, but it will take time, kind of?
I think so, but in the short term, people care about yield, and ZK cannot bring you higher yield, and then therefore not many people are interested to explore it, right? Like, and if you think about doing things in a decentralized way, it's usually a little bit harder and more challenging. And then like you have to spend more time as a team also to adapt to this stack, to make some trade-offs in terms of product design, to make it less aggressive in terms of maybe how quickly and how fast you capture the best yield. And therefore like ZK is a burden at this point of time, and it's not that users care too much about it that it would that they would be willing to give up some of the lost yield because of having these extra guarantees. So people are more the risk ladder in crypto, people are very, very high.
I mean, people looking for yield, it's a given in crypto, I think, right? And even from a few cycles ago, people don't really care about the decentralization. I mean, there's obviously a small vocal part that's very into it. I think part of us here are into that. But Bruce, I would like to go to your point earlier as well. The project that you spoke about, token was there, but no products and no users, right? You're kind of like echoing. I mean, that's why Momir is kind of, responding to what you said. So are you seeing now, in terms of like your other portfolio companies, are they thinking about going and using ZK? Will they have a need for it? Because ZK as a tech, has advanced a lot over the last, few years and is evolving more quickly. There's a lot of scalability benefits, as Momir has kind of described, the trilemma with the fourth dimension as well. Do you see a lot of them kind of thinking about it? Oh, sorry, Bruce and Ether, sorry, yeah.
Okay, I think because we do invest into some GameFi projects before, and so I think for a game side, I think they do some of the GameFi projects they made this ZK technology because especially for the Web 2.5 games because it's between Web 2 and Web 3. So for the gamers, they don't care about decentralization, permissionless, but they do care about the privacy and speed. So ZK can offer them the privacy with the speed. So for example, for the gamers, if they play against the get rewards, so they don't need to verify that they play the whole games, they play all the transactions. They just need to verify that the result is correct, is accurate, and they can get a rewards, and that's it. So meanwhile, the privacy is protected, and also the gaming process is insured. So it's for fun, it's fast, and it's private.
Bruce, which games have that now? I feel like Web 2.5 gaming, I'm not really seeing much of it. I would love to understand more.
Yeah, I think for these games, because they're built on the Web 2 side, but they don't utilize a lot on the blockchain. So they had the users, they had the communities, but they don't have the token, they don't have blockchain. So when they come to Web3, they only need to understand just to issue tokens. And then they get some incentive on the certain mechanism. So I think for them, it's not totally Web3, but it's also not totally Web 2.
And you're saying the gamers care about all these, the two use cases you mentioned?
Yes.
So it's already being used now?
I think they are. I think ZK still is the advanced technology, so I think they are adopting it. So it's not fully materialized.
Yeah, not yet, but looking maybe, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the barriers is also the fact that ZK developers are very few in the world, a few thousand essentially, right? And the ZK is tough to kind of get into. So sorry, I confused the names a little bit earlier. So Ether, so yourself?
Well, I have to be frankly maybe a little bit sharp. When talking about ZK, itself is a scaling method, right? But except it's a technician way, like people don't care of what you are. If you are ZK, you are OP or whatever you are. You just give me a Chen, right? Just let me use it, right? And add on that one, there's one small aspect because we invest in some RWA projects, right? The core to RWA itself is not about the token. The core is CDFI. Right, some part of it is centralized. You get the user's information, and if requested by the regulator, different regions, or by the user itself, there is a need of privacy, and that's some real needs reflected in our portfolio. But one quick question is, before they actually adopt any technical method, it should be cheap and easy to adopt enough, right?
Correct, and it's not yet, right?
Yeah, I think it just still took some time, but I think the requirements and demands is real.
Okay, so if you're talking about privacy, there is a general want for privacy. So one barrier to adoption is the ease of use. So when you then zoom out against the ZK landscape today, what do you think we should be focusing on? You've seen like the ZK VMs, we're a risk zero boundless event right now. We have the co-processors, we have a bunch of things. Do you think we're focusing on the wrong things either?
Well, to be honest, I don't think it just focus on the wrong thing, but it's because for my investment experience, I looks more on the business side, right? So I think you should just focus on more niche or more accurate business angle. Let's say for TradFi or for very particular usage where you're using DK. But let's say for DeFi, I think the fact is, if let's say I'm already an Ethereum user, right? I'm anonymous. I don't care about like if I got privacy or not, because you don't know who I am already. So what's the point? You tell me you can protect my privacy, unless I have somehow my personal information on Chen. I have to protect it. That's a real need from some of our projects we see, and they're trying to integrate with it. And also, it's also something with the AI projects, the DeFi project, is they need to prove some of the projects they use TEE. They're trying to build TEE within AI, but actually they need a more efficient way to get the proof, to calculate the proof. So DK as a method, I think it's more desired. But if we just talk about the chain itself, either of the chain is not very necessarily to the market right now.
Okay.
For the privacy part, like presumably at some point you will send money to someone, or like maybe for some reason we go for a dinner and now we split the bill, and you give us your whole history of meme coin trading, and maybe you don't want to do that, right? Like, so if you assume the worldview where you're just living in an isolated account on Ethereum and trading, and not like doing social stuff, and like not using it for actually exchanging value with friends or with people with whom you have some sort of relationship, I think, yes, that's, I agree, but eventually I also might want to, for some reason, like, I don't know, like we go for a dinner, we split the bill. I don't necessarily want for everybody to go in Etherscan and check like what sort of trades have I done in past. So I think privacy still matters to that extent, but on the other thing, like what I wanted to touch on, like maybe like from a different angle, how could ZK actually improve user experience? Maybe this is the angle that is not being explored very often. And over here, like I first want to make a statement that the current user experience, especially like in DeFi, and I'm going back to DeFi because at the end of the day, this is the main use case of crypto so far. Like we don't have a better use case at the moment.
Stable coins or DeFi? Stable coins first.
Stable coins are not necessarily DeFi, that's
yes,
correct.
yeah.
But I think stable coins and DeFi are both important use cases. I think that there is more to DeFi that is valuable than just stable coins. So I don't think that the stable coins, let's say even we count them as a DeFi, I don't think that that's the only valuable part, but I feel like DeFi on its own has proven some sort of PMF and proven like the potential. But what I want to say like is that experience in DeFi, let's say in lending, money markets, in spot exchanges, is suboptimal. And why is it so? For instance, like 25 years ago, like in the US, in the student loan market, you had like everybody had very uniform terms. So regardless of which school you go to, what career path you're following, you all get the uniform terms. You all get the same interest rate regardless of the profile. Then, like at that time, there was one project startup called SoFi, which kind of thought like, okay, this is market inefficiency. Like I can just recognize students that are in better schools, in more profitable career paths, and just identify these students, focus on them, give them cheaper interest rate, give them non-uniform terms according to their profile, background, and qualifications. And what happened with this company, they eventually became unicorn, I think actually very fast since starting, because actually they realized the market inefficiency, and from a user perspective, like you are recognized as a user with good behavior and on a good path, you're getting rewarded, right? Today, if you look into most of the applications that are on-chain, like they are completely uniform terms, like they don't recognize different users. They are not able to offer VIP user experience. They are not able to offer cheaper fees for users that are bigger contributors. Like imagine you go to Binance, and Binance doesn't have any program to kind of treat its most valuable users, or doesn't have any way to give them the benefits. So this is like the state of the DeFi today. But if you want to do what I just mentioned, if you want to do like this non-uniformity and introduce like something that's more targeted for different user base, like you can either read some centralized API and then plug that into smart contracts and fetch this off-chain data, but then you pretty much kill the purpose of the blockchain. So why do blockchain in the first place, right? So the only way how you can do this, but again, keep like the premises of blockchain, is by using technology like ZK or using these coprocessors. So I think like this is sort of the activity that would produce a lot more user stickiness for applications that start implementing it.
So maybe for those who are not so familiar with ZK, because I imagine some people might not be the most familiar, I guess to sum up, this like kind of reputation transfer, right? Using ZK technology, correct? Yeah, Momir? Okay, awesome. So you talk a lot about DeFi. There was gaming here. There was AI also kind of banded around. So let's talk about prediction market. For this next year, okay, for 2025, we're still now in Q2, right? What do you think would be would DeFi continue be the major use case for ZK, or do you think that AI, for example, AI ML, ZK ML would come up? Anyone?
Yeah, I think maybe I just also add to one point to what Momir said. I think because DeFi is one of the use cases for the ZK. Also because our background, our VC background is also from traditional finance. So on these sectors, ZK can be a very good use case for them, like the ZK KYC. So a lot of traditional finance, when it comes to the industry crypto, they might not want to reveal their, how many assets they have, what's their detailed identities. So, but they do want to do some DeFi on chain. So how do you do so? So then you can utilize ZK KYC that you prove you are this person from traditional background and you had the enough assets or enough amount of capital, so you can do some borrow on the certain DeFi protocols, or you can lend your capital to a certain protocols without reviewing any of your details, any of your identity details. I think that's very good for the traditional finance as well, because on the one hand, it complies with the regulatory rules. Also, the other hand, you don't need to destroy your privacy, your personal data. So I think that's one of the cases for ZK for the traditional finance. So in the near term, in next year, or maybe after next year, in 3 years, I think traditional finance, they come to the crypto, they come to DeFi. So privacy preservation is one of the main focus. So I think ZK can be a very good adoption for those traditional finance.
Actually, for us as well. So at ZK Verify, two of our key leading use cases is also DeFi. So we are working with Zero-Base. Zero-Base, they were around here. So Zero-Base is a staking protocol. And then our other use case is Singularity has dark pools. So I hear you, I agree with you, especially from a ZK Verify perspective. But I would love to kind of explore more, right? So DeFi sounds so obvious. Compliant DeFi is something we're also looking at. And how about AI? Again, that verifying the models that you're paying for, they're giving you the model that you're paying for, I think is clear. Privacy of data, right? I think that's one clear use case as well for ZK. We'd love to see, like, do you think it's realistic that we can have ZK in AI this year?
I would say we will have gradually to see, but it will not at this year met massive adoption in AI projects, because they are choosing how to prove, choosing which tech to prove. But I have to say the demand of prove it and keep the privacy of AI is a true demand, because even talk about like DeFi, there is one of our not yet our portfolio, just chatting with them. Yes, actually they are processing, okay, let's say if you are just pushing a trade on Solana, right, within some AI or within some bots, right? It's kind of very popular for the TG bots when you just doing with the memes, right? But you can just using your natural language to sell or buy something. But what they are doing, proving is, okay, they get the raw data, and they compile the language, and then okay, they feed back to Solana to itself or to the router back again, and say, okay, we verified. Okay, just wallet A just has already successfully have the amount to met, such a swap. It's a small, tiny use case, but it depends. What kind of data they are going to use. The better way is they do not expose all the user data, as like Momir say, right? Do not expose all my history of tradings, right? All my wallet public address. I just wish to sign and expose to my this execution. Yeah. But they are just in trial, so I think it just took more time.
Yeah, and so you can't say the name yet, right? Because you haven't invested, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 2 last quick fire questions, just one answer each, okay? Just 2 last ones, okay? So what's the thing that you think in the next 3 years ZK should do more of? Start this way first. Oh, wait, okay, yeah, start this way first. Quick fire, Momir.
Better developer experience, more simple integration into existing workflows.
Okay, thank you. Bruce.
I think maybe I will touch on AI side because it seems because right now from Web2 side, when they treat AI, they don't know which model they are using. Maybe it's a black box. So for ZK, maybe they can prove that which AI models they are using, they are training. So I think maybe ZK can help improve on the AI model training side.
Okay.
I think 2.1 is a better developer education. Quite similar like Momir stated.
Okay.
And another one is, I think get a glance of the business side to see more like if traditional finance, they are going to use DK. Yeah.
Everyone wants TradFi in, more and more TradFi. Okay, the last question, and then we'll end off. So this time, this way, okay, Ether. What is the one thing you're most excited about from either your current portfolio or upcoming portfolio? So like kind of wish list / excitement for the next 3 years for ZK.
Yeah, I wish DK to be the most powerful, tool or accelerator for AI. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Bruce.
So we just have one portfolio I mentioned before, so rumors. So I think we'll bet on that
Plugging.
as well.
Okay, thank you.
I think a lot of our portfolios that were working on ZK for last several years are only this year getting to stage where they are actually mature enough to offer their mainnet versions and to offer good developer experience, cheap cost of proving and so on. So excited to see how that plays out. And in general, like when it comes to ZK and more general crypto, I'm excited about use cases where ZK is not the end goal, but kind of enabler of some sort of new business model, new sort of behavior. And these are sort of the angles that I'm looking for.
Thank you. And for me, we think that ZK is bigger than Web3. So thank you so much. Thank you, panelists. My name is Gwen from Horizen Labs. Thank you, Momir from IOSG Ventures, Bruce from Summer Ventures, Ether from BingX Ventures. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you.